All right. Uh, Good evening. I'm Michelle Rehill, Chair of the Northborough Library Board of Trustees, and I call this meeting to order at 7:07 p.m. This meeting is being recorded. It is being held fully remotely, and there will be no public participation in this meeting. That being said, I will do the roll call attendance. When I call your name, please respond. Brittany Burns,
Brittany Burns here.
Mitch Cohen,
Mitch Cohen here.
Amanda DeRosa Millette.
Amanda DeRosa Millette here.
Pat Font is not here. Jim Hogan is not present at this time. Jocelyn McElhenney,
Jocelyn McElhenney here.
Beth Samus,
Beth Samus here.
Richard Tucker,
Richard Tucker here.
and Michelle Rehill is here. We also have with us tonight John Bruno, the library director, and Caitlin Stacy, assistant library director. All right. With that formality out of the way, we can move on to approval of the minutes from June 10th meeting. Are there any questions or comments about the minutes from last month?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as presented.
Mitch, you're moving, and Beth, you're seconding. Thank you. All right, roll call vote for all those in favor of accepting the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 meeting as presented. Brittany Burns,
Brittany Burns, aye.
Mitch Cohen,
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Amanda DeRosa Millette,
Amanda DeRosa Millette, aye.
Jocelyn McElhenney,
Jocelyn McElhenney, aye.
Beth Samus,
Beth Samus, aye.
Richard Tucker.
Richard Tucker abstained.
Thank you. And I also approve the minutes. The motion carries with one abstention. Thank you. And we have no FY25 appropriations report because it is the end of the fiscal year. And that will be wrapped up. So we will see that at our next meeting. So we can skip right over to the library director's report.
Any questions?
Sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
Mitch, yes.
I was just curious when the Blackstone Unlimited service will go online. I'll admit I tried it earlier today and it said, no, you're not one of the test accounts. So I guess it's not going yet.
So right now we are in the process, so I had to open a ticket with CWMR so that they could do the SIP2 authentication and fill in like a bunch of details so that everything can be encrypted and authenticated the way that it needs to be. Once it goes back to them, I don't think it takes very long. So Caitlin, do you have a launch date?
Not an official launch date as of yet, because I'm waiting for that authentication process to go through with CWMRs. As soon as that goes through, and then the test account that you ran into, so once they have that, and then the test accounts, they're expecting like around a 3-day turnaround.
Great.
Yeah, so it'll probably launch along with, we're expecting a website cutover fairly soon. It'll look similar, but in some ways different than our current website. So we're expecting to switch over to our new website sometime before the fall. And I would expect that Blackstone will probably launch along with that and along with the Gale databases. There's not too much of a switch with that, just that instead of going off to the MBLC website, those will be available on our website. We did have to make a couple of changes to basically what you will see when you log in. So right now, every vendor kind of has like a different authentication page. So it's the page where you type in your library card number and your PIN. Each vendor page looks a little bit different, even though the process is very much the same. There's a product that we ended up using that kind of makes that process, the page looks uniform. So it's our branding and every page looks exactly the same. If you go to Southborough's library databases, that's exactly the same. And for exactly that reason, so that Southborough and Northborough will have the exact same experience, and that is because we share a school district. And we wanted one set of instructions for the teachers so that when they're showing kids how to use research databases, they're not like, okay, if you live in Northborough, you do this. If you live in Southborough, you have to do this. It's just one set of instructions for everybody. Plus, it's going to make everything much more uniform. So it's the same exact experience no matter what database you're getting into. So all of that is going to be around September 1st. There's a really long way of answering your question, but
Okay.
On a similar note, Jen, I just really wanted to commend you guys for working to save the Gale access, like both as a user of Gale and a teacher in the district who uses Gale all the time with students. That was a loss that my department was talking about a lot and was really upset about. And I think everyone is going to be thrilled. So thank you guys for doing that work and for coordinating that. And I also wanted to mention too, last time we talked about the Libby access, and as an avid Libby user, I am noticing the increased access and enjoying it. And I heard from a couple of students also that they are having a really easy time getting the both ebooks and audiobooks. So I think those are really, really great things. You guys are really, I think, doing a good job of making the best out of a difficult situation. And we notice it.
and if you haven't noticed on the monthly statistics, there's now 3 different categories for Overdrive. Overdrive Advantage is what titles we're purchasing, and that's always been there. And Overdrive CPC is that cost per circ that we just turned on when we got rid of Hoopla. So you can actually see what impact that is going to have. So far in just 2 months, it's been 628 circulations of just those titles that I've turned on. So it's been a pretty big impact in reducing those hold times and the wait that people were experiencing with like those months and months hold times. Not every title, unfortunately, has a cost per circ, but there are a few other license models that I had kind of stayed away from, which are basically like, instead of the length of time where you have one user, similar to like we have one copy of a book and you can check it out and then, but only one person can read it at a time. There are certain licenses where you're going to get 100 checkouts, but it could be 100 at a time, or it could be, just up to 100. So in some cases, if it's a really popular book, but we know it's only going to be popular for 6 months and then no one's going to read it, like certain nonfiction, I'm looking at that model instead because it's timely. Or what is that one? The let them theory. Basically anything that I can do to like make that available to people, because I think everybody is reading that book. So books like that, it's just worth it to make it as available as possible, because I think by next year the demand for it will decrease. So things like that.
Jen, I also want to pile on to Brittany's thank you for saving of the database, not just because collaboration like this is so important in keeping access to the communities, but there's an emotional aspect. There's a lot of things that are being cut and a lot of services that people are losing. And just maintaining access to something, I think, also drives a positive emotional response to the library, which is also very important these days. So thank you to you and the team for that.
Yeah, it was really a no-brainer when we looked at, I looked at our stats and I was like, 42, probably not a big deal. And then I thought, they're not using it through the library. Let me ask the schools. And then, wow,
Yeah.
that's, and the nice thing with Gale has been so easy to work with. They're able to set it up so that Ryan Donovan from Southborough and I can each see our own statistics separately. So a Southborough card using Southborough's website he'll get those stats. I'll get Northborough's, so that when we get to the end of the year state reporting, we're not just sort of guessing 60-40. We'll actually know
Wow.
what the stats are. So that's really nice.
Any other questions or comments about the report? Yes,
I
Mitch?
thought about one more thing. The Be Well Carnival, mentioned in your report, it was awesome as always. I was there with the Rotary Club. I believe that I know there's no more ARPA funding for that. I think it's a great exposure for the library and a great service to the community as a whole, and particularly the kids. So I hope there's a way that you can work with the other departments in finding a way for it to continue. I think families really expect that to be now an annual function. So I'm very supportive of finding a way to make it happen in the future. I hope it does.
So cross all your fingers and all of your toes. Allie Lane, the rec director, applied for a Mass Cultural Council festivals and what is it? It's a festivals grant. If she is successful, which I think she has a very strong application, then that would cover a substantial amount of the funding to be able to hold it. And then I think we'd be able to get the rest. If that doesn't go through, we have had a substantial number of local businesses approach us about funding. So I do think it'll go through one way or the other. We are committed to making sure, like, the Be Well group doesn't really, like, we're not official anymore. There's no ARPA funding. We're not doing the programming anymore, but we still like each other. So we still hang out. You know, we meet every once in a while to talk about things. And we're still very much committed to making this an annual event as much as we can.
Thank you.
That's great to hear. Thanks, Jen.
All right. Any other comments about the report? Other than Rachel looks awesome in a mustache.
The children's department is working so hard through the summer. And they have so much fun, but 900 students in like this short amount of time while still doing regular programming and all of the desk duties and all of the end of the year things that they do is just, I can't say enough good things about them. It's amazing. And they're dressed as Mario characters. Like, I wouldn't have such a good sense of humor if I was working now.
I'll go like above and beyond in that department.
They do. They really do.
And all of you who show up in character costumes go above and beyond. Any staff member who does that. Winners. All right. So if there's nothing else. Any old business? I don't think so. We'll move on to new business. And the new business is, where they put it, the appointment of subcommittees. I know you're going to be shocked when I say this, but I'm keeping the committees the way they are formatted. Were previously, so the admin committee is Jocelyn, Beth, and Pat. Long range planning is Jim, Richard, and Brittany. And building and grounds, Michelle, Mitch, and Amanda. So I look forward to all of us having meetings whenever and however we need them for whatever topic.
Yay.
Yay, congratulations. If anybody is like dying to be on a different committee, though, you can contact me and we'll see if we can negotiate that. But we'll like do a player trade.
This we do trades before the All-Star break or something.
Yes, something like that. One of those breaks. Strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. Just nothing else. The date of the next meeting is September 9th, 2025.
Michelle,
Yes.
please don't hate me.
What?
Could we tentatively schedule an August 12th meeting? I know that you typically don't meet in August. But I may need you to meet in August. And I think it would maybe be easier to put it on the books and then cancel it if we don't need to, than like me trying to send something out because I need you to meet and then trying to like send out a scheduler while everybody's doing summer things.
I
I
don't,
hate to be cryptic. I might need you guys in August.
it's August 12th.
That would be the regular time.
All right.
That would be the second Tuesday, the 12th?
Well, I personally am shocked. That's like a day that I will actually be around, so I could be at a meeting.
Yeah, I'm alone.
And I promise I will cancel it, or I will ask Michelle to cancel it if it's not necessary.
Okay, so will it be a remote or an in-person?
Can we meet in person?
Mitch? Oh, no, sorry. I saw something move. I thought that was,
No,
no.
it's fine.
In person, okay, on August 12th?
For August or for both or what?
Just for the,
Just if we have to meet in August, could we meet in person?
Okay.
I won't be able to do an in-person meeting that day, but
Well, I could do a hybrid.
oh,
I've got the stuff now.
I mean, I could do virtual, but I could not do in person. I will not be in Massachusetts.
okay.
So in person with a hybrid option so that we can reach a quorum.
That would be fine. Yeah.
Okay, so tentatively scheduled the next meeting for August 12th, 2025 at 7 p.m. It will be in person / possibly hybrid. If it turns out we don't need that meeting, it will be canceled, and the meeting after that will be September 9th at 7 p.m. And that one will be remote. In deference to the parents who have children going back to school and teachers who have new classes coming in. Okay, is there any other business? Seeing none. Would someone like make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
I would be happy to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Why, thank you, Jocelyn.
Second that.
Mitch seconded that one. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mitch.
So roll call. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting? Brittany Burns,
Brittany Burns, aye.
Mitch Cohen,
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Amanda DeRozier, Millet. Oh, I almost forgot your other name.
Amanda DeRozier, Millet, aye.
That's not here. Jocelyn McHeleny,
Jocelyn McKelney, aye.
Beth Thomas,
Beth Thomas, I.
Richard Tucker,
Richard Tucker, aye.
Michelle Rehill also says aye. So this meeting is adjourned at 7:25 p.m. Everybody enjoy July. Maybe see you in August.
Hi, Kate.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.